What's going on, guys? Hey, you know what? You asked for it, you got it. We're gonna be doing a small technique class today. Just going over the basics, things to remember that are important.
When we were on live the other day, we had a bunch of people asking for just technique, a little refresher course on technique. As you're at home, you're gonna be punching the air for most of you. Some of you have bags,
Which is a great way to actually tighten up your technique.
Yes.
And so you can actually just watch this, then you can go take a class and kind of throughout the combos, just focus on these simple things. So
if you have bags, of course, work on them with your bags.
All right, so first of all, going over our stance, we want to make sure that, as you can see, his head is over, it's centered with his body. His hands are up. You always want to keep your hands up, guarding that chin. Of course, we drive that into your head all the time. And then shoulders are partially up, okay? You want to keep them, you don't want to be too tight up here, but keep them up just a little bit. You want to be guarding that chin a little bit as well with your shoulder, okay? Chin is partially tucked, okay? We don't want to be leaving it out there to get hit. And then also, his weight is evenly distributed between his feet, okay? And his feet aren't crossing, they're spread apart, diagonal stance here, okay? Yeah, we're not crossing by.
Not here.
Yep, and it's equally apart. So, and then also, important thing to remember is that 60% of your weight in here, especially, you want to have more of an aggressive, dominant stance here. So 60% of your weight is actually going to be on your front foot. Okay, that's how we're really driving into that bag, pushing off that back heel. Okay. All right, and last thing I want to go over real quick is breathing. You want to make sure anytime you're throwing a strike, you want to be. DeBarrow called it spitting. If you took DeBarrow's class, it's a quick. And the reason we're doing that is, first of all, so we want to keep breathing, but also it tightens those abs. Just tighten those abs. You're engaging your core, especially in here. If you're in a fight, you're actually tighten those abs just in case there's another punch coming. Yep. You're exhaling, tightening those abs so you can maybe take a blow if you're not protecting down below. Now let's go over our jabs, okay? This could be actually considered one of your most important strikes in boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. It can be one of your actually most powerful punches as well. It helps you also set up combos. So with your jab, you're gonna take a half a step forward. You're gonna take a half a step forward. You're actually gonna kind of lunge with both feet, moving towards that bag and driving in. Yep. And on this one, we wanna make sure that we fully extend that arm, okay? Keeping that elbow tight. And then that shoulder up. As we're throwing that punch, we're bringing that shoulder right up here. We're guarding that chin because once we throw it, if I'm coming in with a hook, yeah, he's blocking that chin, okay? Next thing is when we extend, we actually want to turn that hand over slightly. So we're just gonna turn it just a little bit more here. We want to be landing on these two knuckles right here, okay? The first two knuckles. Yeah, just turn it over slightly, all right? And then next thing is when that jab goes out and back in, you want to keep it on the same line here. We like to think of the jab as you're almost throwing down a narrow hallway, narrow pipe. Keep it nice and straight on the way out. Bring it straight back in on that same line, just like that. Yep, perfect. So when we hit it, let's hit it fully. Step in. Yep, just like that. Perfect. Yep. And then the next thing is notice how he's not dropping his hand as it coming back in. We're not dropping it down. We hit it, it's coming straight back in. We're not dropping it down and then bringing it up. Okay? Straight back in. You're bringing that elbow straight back into your ribs and that hand up.
Also, if I can add something here, you don't want to be throwing up here either, because most times, if you're going to throw a punch at somebody, they're going to duck. They're going to be slipping, okay?
Yes.
So up here, you're going to miss them. You're going to go right over their heads. So
you want to compensate for that by, hitting a little bit lower. Aiming for the chin. Yep, just like that. All right, next let's move on to our cross, otherwise known as our two. For this, can actually be one of your most powerful strikes. On this one, you want to make sure when you're throwing that you're turning that back knee in, pushing off that heel and pivoting. We're always talking about pivoting. Yeah, we want to turn that knee in, turn that hip in as well. It starts from the ground up. Okay, I know Seth drives this a lot. Is you're starting from the ground up. That's where that power is coming from. Okay, starting with your pivot, turn your knee in, turn your hip, and that's the power. Okay, throwing that cross. Next thing is you want to turn your hand over again. Okay, just like on our jabs we're talking about. Turn that hand in. Yep, turn it over, and we're landing on those two knuckles right here. Okay, next thing is you want to bring that shoulder up again, just like this, guarding that chin. That way, when he throws that, if I'm ducking, whatever, bringing that hook in, okay, he's guarding his chin. Yep, push up that back heel, turning that knee in, pivoting, turning those hips. That's where the power comes from. We'll wear ourselves out. It won't be as powerful if we're just throwing with our arms here. All right, here we go. Let's go to our hooks. We're gonna be demonstrating our lead hook, otherwise known as our 3. And on this, remember, we're in our stance. We're gonna be starting by turning that foot, pivoting, turning those hips. That's where your power is coming from. That's so important. So as you're turning that hip, that's when your hook's coming up and throwing that hook down. All right, so on this one, we also wanna make sure we wanna bring that elbow up. We want that elbow to be 90 degrees with our body and 90 degrees at our elbow. We want to keep it tight. We're not swinging out back and around. Okay, that's what our hips are for. Okay, I think a lot of people think they got to swing around, wail on the bag to get that power. You don't need to. Okay, keep it tight, elbow up, and turn those hips. That's where the power comes from. Okay, you want your hands to stay vertical? Yep. Thumb on top. You can actually just turn it slightly in, so we're laying on those 2 knuckles again. Yep. Pivot. Turn that knee in. Hip. Keep it tight. Yep, getting that shoulder up. All right, going to that 4 now, our strong hook. It's the same exact thing, that we just talked about, except you're gonna be pushing off that back heel. Turn those hips in, that right hip in and over. There we go, just like that. Yep, just push off that back heel. Same thing. Let's go to our uppercuts. Most of your power is gonna be coming from your legs here. Okay, a lot of people get this wrong, but we go to that uppercut, and we're speaking about hitting the chin here. Of course, there's no chin on these bags, but we'll just go over a proper uppercut here. On this, we want to bend our knees slightly as we're coming down, okay? Slightly, keeping those hands up, elbows in, and then what we're doing here is we're actually loading up for that punch. You want to load up, you want to prep it, and then you're going to drive up with that fist. There we go, yep. Bend those knees slightly and drive up. Yep, keeping it straight. Yep, keep that elbow tight too. We're driving from our ribs up. Okay, we don't want to be too out to the side there. Okay, keep it nice and tight. And then, yep, there we go. We want to show on the back. And remember, on our bags, and we're in here, we're aiming for the body here. So we're going to be hitting a little bit lower, going body punches. Okay, working the body here. Drive down, boom, we're driving up. You know we're driving up, we can come right into the ribs there, the stomach. Bam, yes, just like that. And it's going to be the same thing on the right side. We're going to our 6. You're actually going to be, again, pushing off with your back heel. There we go, and turn up, turn those hips, boom. Perfect.
Okay, let's talk about kicks.
My favorite.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna start out with your back kick or your back roundhouse kick, okay? So basically, we're still in our same stance here. You got 60% of your weight on your front foot, all right? But you're gonna start this out like everything, all starts from the ground up. So you wanna step to the side a little bit forward even, okay? Step out, get that foot sideways. Then as you start to bring that foot up, you're gonna turn your hips sideways, okay? Get those hips sideways. Now, before you strike, keep this in mind, that you got some of the smallest bones in your foot, so they are very fragile. Think of them as glass, okay? But you want to find this sweet spot right in here, okay? On me, it's where there's no hair. That's where I'm used to hitting the bag. So as you pivot, bring that foot around, pivot your hips, okay, and then strike the bag in that sweet spot. Now, go ahead and demonstrate. Okay, now remember, on the ball of your foot right here is where you want to have your weight, and watch his foot here as well. He's gonna lift his heel, and that heel will swing just a little bit. He's gonna pivot, boom. So bring that, there you go. See how his heel pivots just a little bit more. As he strikes the bag, it is swinging around. That'll give you a little bit more power. Then as you bring your foot back, you wanna go right back into your stance. So, go ahead. There you go. There, see the pivoting that on the ball. There. Boom. Yeah. Now, good.
It's all in that pivot.
It is all in the pivot and turning your hips over.
And also throwing down what I call the hammer. Throwing down the hammer. A lot of fighters will see they either throw it down when they kick or they throw it straight out. And this, I throw it down, but some fighters you can change it up. I throw it straight out. Okay. Next.
Great. Let's go on to the switch kick. Okay, so switch kick. You're in your regular stance. All right. Now, with a switch kick, the reason why they call it a switch kick, you're just switching your feet.
Nice quick switch.
Yeah, quick switch is all it is. All right. See how this is just as simple as it is right there. It's not a hop, then go into your kick. It is all one motion.
So focus on that first of all. Focus on just a quick switch. Just focus on that right there. That's a good exercise to really get used to the speed of it, and also then add in your kick. If I slow things down, just make a small switch first, and then go into your kick, and then just work on speeding it up. But focus on pivoting when you switch, and turn those hips over.
Show me one more time. Okay, so now, see how he's returning to his same stance as well? So you're here, he throws the kick, okay, and then he goes right back into his regular stance. So he brings that front foot down and steps back with this back foot, okay? Now he's back in his regular stance.
And that's another thing you need to start off doing slow.
Yes.
Start off doing that slow. Take the time to step down, shuffle back. This was kind of tougher for me to grasp onto when I was first learning. But once I did it more and more and did it every time I did my switch kick, I don't even notice anymore. It's just muscle memory for me, and I don't even have to think about it. So switch, drop it down, shuffle back. So focus on those little things. That's how the switch kick actually became my favorite kick.
Hey, so we hope you like this just basic striking, kicking.
When you first come into the gym.
When you first come into the gym type of class here. So practice this stuff at home.
And focus on learning to be more, just hitting more effectively instead of more, powerful and just wailing. You want to hit more effectively. So just focus on those things, especially for when you're coming back into the gym. You'll be ready to rock it on these bags.
You'll be so fired up to hit a bag.
It'll be a lot more fun doing it that way. But also, we're gonna be coming out with some more videos here real soon. We'll be going over elbows, knees, probably some spinning back elbows, teep kicks, front roundhouse kicks, and going over all that fun stuff. So get a little bit more, this stuff a little bit more unique that you don't do right when you come into the gym. So stay tuned.